Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. Today, we're talking about gifts of Bitcoin. Okay, so here in the last, so if you have been the only way you don't know about Bitcoin is if you have been under a rock, all right? And really, there is a lot more talk going around about Bitcoin now that the IRS won its case against Coinbase, and the issue of taxation of Coinbase of Bitcoin has come up and is a very popular topic right now. So one of the questions that I've gotten quite a few times in the last couple of days is about giving gifts of Bitcoin, like who pays the taxes? Okay, so first of all, when it comes down to gifting Bitcoin, the thing that makes Bitcoin complicated, let me say this. Bitcoin is treated like a capital asset. Bitcoin, although it's used for buying everyday things, Bitcoin is not legal tender in the United States. The legal tender in the United States is the US dollar. Now, so Bitcoin, although it's being used like money, the IRS treats it like it treats a stock. It's a capital asset. So when you're talking about gifting Bitcoin, it's similar to gifting stocks, okay? So with that being said, understand that, when it comes down to gifting stock, there's a few things that you need to know. So number one, the annual gift exclusion, which is what you can give someone that is a gift, the limit to that is $14,000 if you're single and $28,000 if you're married. You can do what's called gift splitting, okay? So if I wanted to give Stephanie $14,000, I could do that, and that the IRS excludes that as a gift. But if I were to give Stephanie $14,500, then that $14,000 of that would be excluded, and she would have to pay taxes on that $500. All right, understanding how the gift exclusion works. All right, so the same goes for your Bitcoin. So the value at the time of, at the time you're giving it, what is the value? If the value is over $14,000, then you're going to have to send a form to the IRS. All right. Now, the giving Bitcoin as a gift is not a taxable event. Okay. The taxation comes when the receiver decides to sell it. The most important thing to know is your cost basis, the giver's cost basis. So let's say, for instance, that I give Felisa $500 worth of Bitcoin as a gift, but I only paid $10 for it. Well, Felisa needs to know that I paid $10 for it, because when she sells Bitcoin later on, whatever her gain is, let's say she sells it at $500, then she is responsible for that $490 gain, okay? And it would be regular income tax rate or capital gains tax, depending on how long I owned it. So giving the gift of Bitcoin is not just giving the gift of Bitcoin. You have to inform people of what your cost basis was and when you purchased it, because that is also going to transfer to the receiver. Okay, so that receiver needs to know when you bought the Bitcoin, how much you paid for the Bitcoin, because that is going to be their cost basis. They're going to receive your cost basis as well. All right, and so if they decide to keep it, great. But when they sell it, they're going to have to go back to that original cost basis and pay the gain on that. All right. But you, as the giver, you can gift someone Bitcoin without any capital gains tax, without you having to pay it. It falls on the receiver. Okay. So I want to make sure that you understand that. And if you, if the value of the Bitcoin that you give is over $14,000, then you actually have to report that to the IRS. Okay. This is would be the same as, as if it were stock. For donations as well, for if you're gift Bitcoin to a charity, for instance, there are a lot of charities now. I want to say the Salvation Army is accepting Bitcoin. I think that's who it is. I think the Salvation Army is accepting Bitcoin. Okay. So they also have to know now, if the Salvation Army keeps your Bitcoin and, and lets it grow and all of that stuff, you get to write off the amount, the fair market value of the Bitcoin when you donate it. They have to treat it as income. And then what they do with it after that, it ain't your business, but just know that you can write off the fair market value. So it's important for you to know that, what you paid for it, when you bought it, how long you had it, all of that, because the year, you guys, the year is the magic number, okay? Because that's going to be the difference between you paying income tax rate versus capital gains rate. And it really just depends on how you establish using your Bitcoin. If you're using first in, first out, or last in, first out, you have to figure that out and establish that for yourself so that when you're using your Bitcoin, how long you've had it, because that's going to determine your tax rate. With, long-term capital gains, the max tax rate is 20%. Most people pay at most 15%. The 20% people, those the $1 million plus earning people that pay 20% capital gains rate. Okay. Mostly everybody else is in the 0 to 15%, but it's important that you understand that year is what is the magic number. So if I bought Bitcoin on December 10th of last year, and I sold it today, I would receive capital gains treatment, okay? Today being December 12th. But if I bought it December 10th last year and I sold it December 9th, then that would be a normal income tax rate, and that would be dependent on how much income I had for the year. All right. So when you're talking about gifting your Bitcoin, that's what the person needs to know. They need to know how long you had the Bitcoin. So if you just buy Bitcoin today and gift it to someone, they need to know that you bought it today, what the basis was. So if they sell it before the year is up, it's going to be at a normal income tax rate, which is based on the amount of money they earn. But if they wait a year, right? If they wait a year before they do anything with it, then they get the capital gains treatment and they get to pay, based on what your basis was. Okay. So to sum this all up, the tax goes to the receiver, but they need to know your cost basis, when you bought it, so how much you paid for it, and when you bought it. Those are the two things that the receiver needs to know for your gift of Bitcoin, because that's what their gain is going to be based on. Okay. Because otherwise they have to treat their gain, treat your basis at 0, and then they have to pay tax on the whole thing. And you really don't want that. So that's it, you guys. When you're gifting things, the tax goes to the receiver whenever they decide to sell, use, whatever, the Bitcoin. Okay. That's the easy part. All right. So listen, if you have not grabbed a copy of my Bitcoin tax guide, I'll type it in when I'm done, but you can go to bit.ly/Bitcoin tax guide. Okay. Although I will tell you the part about the gifting is not in the guide. I'm going to have to update it, but everything else you need to know is in there. All right. But yeah, so that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett, and this is where you come to get your questions answered. All right. You guys have a great day, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.